I first came here more than a year ago, and I really enjoy it because it's open and I always get to perform, and it inspires my imagination. I always try to think of something I can add to the production. Now, in terms of the theme, in terms of like the mental health, I'm overjoyed to see people concerned with that because like for this young lady here, like she's getting started in her career, and I want to encourage you to keep on. You're in the system, that's real, but do what you can. Now, the system that you're working with is not going to help you, but you got to do what you can. But you're becoming more sophisticated and you realize the limitations, but you can have a fantastic, giving career. I want to encourage you in that. But at the same time, I want you to be aware of like the times you can get burned out. Because I got burned out. I was almost ready to kill myself at one time. No, but it can happen though. You don't know that. You don't know that. See, it can come in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. But just be aware of that and try to foster some good friends, good people. When you call them, they'll hear something in your voice. Because a lot of times with your ego, you don't want to say, I'm hurting. But have some good friends who can hear that hurt in your voice, and they'll be there for you. That can save your life. Okay? Now, along with this theme about mental health, this piece I got here is one I did maybe 4 or 5 months ago. It took a while to get the time to come here. This is in light of like what's going on in Washington and all that. But our good friend Trump. Anybody who loves Trump, wave their hand. So we know he's not loved in this menu. Okay. Okay. Now. There was a song out years ago called Chelsea Morning. Some of you may be too young to know that. I always like being here because I'm always the oldest person in the room now. Really. See, when I was younger, I was always the youngest person in the room. I was maybe like 15 or 16. They used to always call me young blood. So now I'm the oldest person in the room. No, it's cool. It's cool. I can relate to it. I'll be 71 next month. So. And it's really a good feeling because you can really see intergenerational stuff going on in your life. And it really brings everything like full circle. Because I've had a chance to see like generations of people, and you see how that grows and progresses. And it makes you aware that like the good that you do doesn't have to take place in your generation. The good that you do may take place and been spreading seeds like 2 generations from now. So see, that's why you can't have a short time span in what you do. You really can't. It's like this young lady here, like the skills you develop, they may come to fruition maybe 50 years from now. Because I've done proposals that I just kept working the proposal, and maybe 20 years later, a situation came to fruition and we got it done. So that's what you got to keep in mind. You develop a long range thing in what you do. When I was 19, I was with a friend of mine in Buffalo, New York. They had a group called Us out in Los Angeles. So we said we don't call the group called Us now. Okay, so we went through some changes and we were accused of starting a riot and this and that. And, some of the kids would try to help me, used to ridicule me all the time and this and that. Oh, ain't nothing gonna come out of that. But then 4 years later, after I left the city, went back to Detroit, came through Washington, and a whole lot of other stuff. I was looking for an organization, and I met a young man from Buffalo, New York, where the city I was first starting in, and I said, what organization are you with? He said, I'm with Us Now. Now this individual never knew that I helped to start that organization, but that's a hell of an experience. See, very few people in a lifetime get to see that. When something that you started, years later, you're going to meet somebody who's benefited by that. That's the hell of a thing. Most people just live their lives, like going in a circle, going on a turmoil. Okay, when can I retire? But after you retire, what have you got? What do you got? But if you can set the seed for somebody who comes along, that's a life. See, so always keep your mind open to that. If you can live a life like that and live long enough to see the fruition, you live your life. When you close your eyes, you can say it's a life well done. But anyway, so much for that sermon. Okay, so anyway, this piece I did came along out of my mind. I thought about this song called Chelsea Morning. Woke up and went to Chelsea Morning, and the first thing that I heard, okay, fine. But now I thought about Trump, the Trump bird. Okay. Now this is something I got from the zoo when I worked at the zoo. You know, it's like a vulture or something. You know, no, darkness. See, that fits into the thing. Okay. So here we go. Now, everybody knows about DACA, right?
Yeah.
What does DACA stand for?
Deferred action.
Yeah, the deferred action, right? Yeah, that's the thing they're trying to stop, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the theme, and it can relate to the work that you're doing with immigrant kids. Okay. Woke up, it was a DACA morning, and the first thing that I heard was a Trump bird outside my window, and a Ku Klux hood was on the bird. It came sitting in like a diarrhea dragon, dripping doo-doo on my world. It came screeching in with words of walls and paid off Russians in the hall, where progressive thinkers hammered ladders up, not looking from a beggar's cup. The bird spread its wings like vulture magic, not chirping any sounds of culture, spitting out denials of climate change. Looking back, Reagan singing Home on the Range, while his Alzheimer's brain shrunk down like a pea in water. These winds whipping past islands that pirates claim, and blew wet waves into electric towers that sparked them, then blew out the flowers, a war-widowed planet, while polishing her son's medals. But the words, denied! And the bird shit on. An Ecuadorian teenager cleaning marble hallways before he ran to the subway to get to calculus. It shit on a Bolivian teacher with a provisional license and a permanent compassion. It shit off a Sinhalese college student marching in ROTC, but C for what? It shit on a Guyanese nurse's aide turning a hospice patient, somebody really died, turning a hospice patient toward the sun for one last look at tomorrow. But denied! Because the bird says, none of you should have come. None of you should have come. Go back to where you came from. The soil you cannot remember is dry. Go breathe the air with no frost. Wait your time in leaky huts while I deny that the atmosphere is Swiss cheese. And the sandwich is eating us all. And we digest the pebbles that clean my bowels. Watch me dream of salvation and denied and denied.